insane. So we'll see how it plays out here. Final Feature Gaming up against iNTACT. Here we go. Round number 1, guys. I am JRT, and I do hope you're going to enjoy this cast tonight. I know I certainly will. Shakezilla going to go into Monster here. Shakezilla, one of the hardest players probably in the league to frag. 5 out of 11 matches, he has been the one with the least amount of deaths. As you see a little bit of information gained by Final Feature Gaming with that jump over that wooden wall. Shank waiting at Graffiti here, peeking back and forth. And they know at least one member of iNTACT is here. Willmeister is going to join Shakezilla, so they have 2, and one leaning in towards that tunnel. That's Turismo. Picky jumping up and down here on the A site. And iNTACT taking their time while they wait to execute. They have a bit of utility, a couple of smokes, a molly, and 2 flashbangs. So 2 members favoring utility instead of getting that body armor on their backs for iNTACT. You see only one doing that for Final Feature, and that's Base with the defuse kit ready to go post-plant if needed. Shake's going to throw that molly for heaven. And that's going to go right on in. Not sure if that, actually that smoke might not have been for heaven. No, it was. Okay, there it is. Just missed a little bit. Base gonna get the shot over on Willmeister. Jonah P finds Shake, so good start here for Final Feature. They do lose one in Droy. Now Swan comes around and gets the double in pit. Looking for the third and finds it. Swan with the 3K. Picky's desperately falling back here, trying to get the fadeaway shot and does. Picky in a 1v1. Swan goes down. Picky recovers. He gets a 2K. But 2 of the hottest players over the last 3 matches for their respective squads going at it toe-to-toe. Picky winning that one. And like I said, Picky is on fire as of late. 64 frags in the last 3, 1.33 KDR, and an ADR of 98.6. Not to mention, Picky got 23 frags against Furia and had 122.8 ADR against them. That's probably the best performance of any player against Furia this season. And that was in a 16-6 loss, so Picky is certainly one to watch here tonight. Shank pushed up around Fountain here as Turismo's going to engage with him. Just Glocks across the board here for iNTACT, except for Willmeister, who's picked up the P250. Spongy going out here towards short A. And I think iNTACT's just going to try and get a bomb plan here. Jonah P's firing away with that FAMAS. 2 FAMASs, 2 UMP45s, and the MP9 bought up by Final Feature. Shake and Spongy leaning towards this A site. Everyone on iNTACT is leaning towards the A site. And you have 1 at long A. That's Swan. We'll see if Willmeister can do anything running and gunning with this P250. Shank's down to 28. Final Feature have 3 members waiting on the A site to greet iNTACT. Here they come, making their move with 50 seconds remaining in the round. Swan walking in, could find one. No! Jonah P and Picky hold their ground over at the A site. Jonah P finds 2, Picky finds 2, and actually 3 with the final one on Spongy. So Final Feature not too fussed there. Taking the 2-0 lead, and could think about upgrading here. And we'll see. There is an M4A4 coming out because the AKs, of course, will be up regardless. I shouldn't say regardless, but if you save in round number 2, you get the AKs and even an op in round number 3, as Swan has gotten that op, and he's been pretty hot, as I mentioned, as of late. I should say over the last 2, 35 frags, 1.84 KDR, and 102.5 ADR. Swan woke up in the last 2 matches after having some pretty average play in the previous, I would say, 4 or 5. Shake going out here. And I say average, of course. Above average for a regular offer, but average for Swan. Shake's going to get that frag through the smoke on Jonah P. Saw his feet underneath it and took advantage of that. He goes down to 7 HP due to that grenade that was just thrown. 5v4 for iNTACT. But a very delicate 5v4. Shake is still going to find one on Shank, who I think got a little too aggressive going out there. And Shake gets the 2K. Shake going to throw that smoke as well. He was the top frag, tied with Turismo with 19 frags against Blitz Reborn. This one going to plant here on default at the A site. 3 members still standing for Final Feature. And we'll see if they decide to go for the 3-man save. It's certainly something they might want to think about looking at the economy and how much they've invested in the round. MP9, UMP45, and M4A4, but looks like they're going to save, but look for some exits. Spongy is right around this corner, is walking into What he does not know could be a slaughter. Base gonna find him and get a free AK as well. So good upgrade there for him. Now Droid probably gonna look for a gun himself. He's the one who hangs back here at upper tunnels. Looking for someone to come in from that ladder. But not gonna happen here for iNTACT. You do have 3 members waiting right outside, but they want to make sure they keep these guns into the next round. Their economy isn't exactly as strong as they'd want it to be to push for those frags. Anyway, iNTACT gonna pick up their first round victory 2-1 in favor of Final Feature. Nice little take there by iNTACT, and they're going to try and keep rolling along here in this match. Already Final Feature picking up more rounds than That's Toxic did against iNTACT in a 16-0 just dismantling. Shake Zola gonna come out here, look for some action. And that match, of course, wasn't overpass. Shake spots out Jonah P. Cannot find him. And Jonah P does get the first frag of the round. Sean gets the second one. 5v3. Come on, Shake. You got to get this one. There it is. Spongy is the one who finally finds it. Shake was just desperately trying to peek around that corner, but kept getting caught on the stairs. In any case, 4v3. Still a possibility for iNTACT to pull this one off. They do have to retrieve the bomb, which is down over at Party. But Final Feature have fallen back to that A site. 2 on A site, 2 on B, and a couple of them playing in Canal. That's Base and Droid. And then Droid's going to find the frag on Shake, who tried to sneak in from Monster. So now at 4v2. Good recovery here by Final Feature after dropping their first round of the match. In the chat, question, is Spongy permanent? Not yet. He's still undecided as far as I know. He's thinking about perhaps remaining on iNTACT for the remainder of the season. I don't know what will happen. There are only 3 matches left to my knowledge until the rosters are locked. 3 or 4. We'll see if Spongy ends up staying with iNTACT for the playoffs. Droid holding a good angle here. Could spot out Spongy and does. Droid with the 2K. Now it's all up to Swan. Looking at the economy, he might want to save this off, but Swan never shying away from a fight. Gonna go for this one. Gets base. Looks up towards heaven. Now knows there's one more inside of pit. So Droid got that frag. Swan with 15 seconds left, throws the molly towards sandbags, and he's probably going to try and stick this plant. Indeed he will. We'll see if Droid comes out and tries to peek this. Picky jumps down from heaven, gets some shots on Swan. Swan somehow finds the frag on Picky. Oh boy, if Droid hadn't gotten that frag right when he did, Swan could have flicked around and gotten a third, maybe even a fourth, but not to be. At least gets the bomb plant, so $800 in the bank accounts for iNTACT, but 3-1 lead for Final Feature and a match pause being called right here. Maybe by iNTACT to talk things over here. They will be able to buy up AKs. Yep, so in the chat saying, he said final decision was last Sunday, but he's still not on the stars list. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Spongy. But 4 seasons in MDL with Vision Gaming, and he just adds that edge to iNTACT. I think that could really help them perhaps beat even a team like Furia. I'd love to see Furia versus iNTACT with Spongy on iNTACT squad. For sure. If that happens in the playoffs, which it very well could. Anyway, pause is over, guys. And here we go, round number 5. I also want to say, I think it would be a good move for Spongy to stick with iNTACT for the remainder of the season. It's possible they'll get into MDL, so it will be a bit of a longer wait to get there, because I know he wants to play there again, as Jonah P gets the opening frag on Spongy. 5v4, but like I said, he wants to get back to MDL, but the path there, although it might be a bit longer with iNTACT, is still very much a possibility. Jonah P going for another shot there, trying to find his second on the round. He's been pretty good playing the Opera here for Final Feature. Jonah P. Looking for the second. There it is on Turismo. He's got a couple more pushing him over at long A. Flicks back around. Good molly thrown to push him out of position. He misses his shot as he splashbang, and Willmeister capitalizes. iNTACT trying to move in on the 3v4, but Shank puts another dent into them, and Base gets Swan, leaving only Shake standing, who's got one. Looking for more, but can't get it. Base with his second on the round. 2K for him, and Base is coming out and doing the damage once more. He's been the top frag for 2 out of the last 3 matches for Final Feature, dropping 47 frags in that time. I should say over the last 2. Over the last 3, he's got 58, 1.16 KDR, and an ADR of 89.3. The only reason that's not higher is because, well, Furia. Need I say more? 4-1 for final feature, though. Very good start for them on overpass against a strong overpass team. Jonah P gonna get the 3K, almost 4 shot. Actually, I think stole that one from him on Spongy, then gets the final one on Swan. iNTACT just kind of rushing out there and hoping for the best. It did not turn out for them, so 5-1 for final feature. Checking out that scoreboard, Jonah P with those eco round frags gonna get up to 9-5. Shank at 5-3, and Picky at 5-1. Over on iNTACT, the only one above the 500 mark is Swan at 5-5, and I'm sure that'll change as this match continues. Flashbang going to be thrown in there by final feature and iNTACT in response. Turismo's going to get the opening frag, walking onto the B site, and now iNTACT has control of B. They're going to have to watch their flank, though, as Shank has rotated all the way around from the A site to get behind them in Monster. Swan does find Droid. Shank looking to do the damage. Spongy hears him, but can't get the frag, so Shank gets one, then backs off. Couple of members damaged here for iNTACT, below 50 HP, Turismo and Swan. HE grenade flies in from Picky. Doesn't do that much damage, or any damage at all. Willmeister waiting at heaven for perhaps someone to engage here from final feature. They have the 4-round lead. Their economy is pretty good. They could try to get some frags here, but instead I think making the wise decision by saving their rifles. Jonah P's looking for a potential exit frag by someone who's foolish enough to jump over that wall, but he just backs off after trying for a wall bang. So 3 members indeed will save here for final feature, and iNTACT picks up their 2nd round victory. Turismo and Swan, even with that low HP, surviving, carry their weapons on into round number 8. So iNTACT trying to string a couple of rounds together here for the first time in the match. Been one and done already once, hoping that it won't happen a second time. 1 AK, 3 M4A4s, then an op bot up for final feature gaming as Shake throws a quick pop flash towards mid to try and catch off any members of final feature that are foolish enough to push up towards Fountain. Jonah P looking for some action here. Shank's going to find the opening frag on Willmeister. Turismo looking for a response and gets it on Shank. Good trade there from iNTACT. 4v4. Swan working into Z connector now, and wall bang Squeaky just for good measure. Turismo down to 14 HP. And Picky over on final feature down to 59. Jonah P has been pretty solid with the op, holding the angles well. Patience paying off for him so far. Droid waiting for some action over at Canal. 2 members for final feature over on A, and then you see all 4 iNTACT members grouping up inside of Z. We'll see what they decide to do. You have a couple rotating back towards T spawn, so we could see an A hit yet. Or maybe they're just trying to split up on the B site. Shake throwing that smoke in towards A, trying to fake an A hit with 44 seconds remaining in the round. iNTACT trying to get final feature to second guess themselves. Base just holding his ground, hasn't spotted out anything. Critically hasn't spotted out the bomb, so no rotates coming in for him. Final feature. Here they come, though. iNTACT with Turismo going for the entries. Not going to get it. Jonah P holds the angle well. Does not go down just yet either, but they're going to close it on Pillar quickly. Droid finds Shake. That leaves only Spongy and Swan here in Canal, but Swan and Spongy get 2, and they even it out at a 2v2. Droid going to come in from construction here. He has to stare down at that molly. He walks a little too close to it and goes down to 68. Now Base from heaven gets Swan, leaves it off to Spongy. Spongy gets the headshot. Only 3 seconds left. Droid's running away. No time. iNTACT will lose the round, waiting a bit too long to get in there. Could have been possible, maybe, if Spongy had perhaps 5 more seconds. But final feature do respond again, and iNTACT fully reset in terms of their economy. At least they have the op in Spongy's hands. It's going to be dropped for Swan. 6-2 for final feature, heading into round number 9. I would say if final feature wins this one, it will almost certainly be an upset. iNTACT number 2 overall in the standings, only behind the one and only Furia, who I think are 12-0. Oh, no, sorry, my mistake. They're 14-0 now. 2 rounds remaining in the season. They're going to pull off perhaps the 16-0 that iNTACT did in ESEA main last season. This time in Advanced, of course. And final feature, number 3 seed. Let's see how this goes down. As iNTACT ready to rock again. Looking to strike back with 2 AKs, a Scout, and a Deagle. Turismo rocking that scout. Rare to see Turismo using any type of sniper rifle, almost always a rifler. I think this might be the first time I've seen him use it this season. Swan with the AWP. 5 M4A4s bought up for final feature though. Losing a lot of members in that last round and just could have bought up the op. Picky had enough. But instead, choosing to go with 5 M4s. A couple of members pushing up towards long A for some intel here. They got it. Jonah P might not be able to escape with his life, but does just barely. And then Shonk TKs him! Shonk trying to line up a shot for long A, unintentionally TKs Jonah P. So a 5v4 advantage here for iNTACT. Shonk down to 20 HP himself. He does find Willmeister, so Shonk doing all the damage so far with both frags. And now does go down to Turismo. 4v3 here. Shake and throw a flashbang, following up with the other flashbang from iNTACT. That smoke thrown for bang. Picky still playing a truck. Gets one on Turismo. Looking for more. Gets a second and a third. Picky looking for the 4K now with Swan, the last one standing. What a hold on the A site. Like I said, he's been on fire and he's continuing his role here against iNTACT. Swan, the last one standing, does find Picky. Looking for more, but cannot get it. Base finishes it off, but Picky, the story in round number 9, 7-2 in favor of Final Feature Gaming. With those 3 frags, Picky jumping up to 8 on the scoreboard. Shonk slightly ahead of him with 9, and Jonah P at 10. The only one still above the 500 mark for iNTACT is Swan at 8 and 7. Everyone else looking to get their game going here. Welly, the coach for Final Feature, very happy with the performance so far. Rich going to try and light a fire under iNTACT. Get them back into this one. Shonk pushed up aggressively there, gets a double. And now Spongy with a nice Wandig on Shonk. That's a free rifle for Spongy. There we go. I got the words out when he goes and picks that up. There's the M4A4. That could tilt around in iNTACT's favor. We'll see if they can do it. Shake's going to walk into bathrooms. 3 members of Final Feature ready here for a potential push by iNTACT, and they're indeed going to come along. Base going to find Spongy. Shake down to 16 HP, trying to be sprayed down by Picky, and Picky gets the spray transfer 2K. Willmeister and Shake go down. Final Feature pick up an 8th round victory here in the first half of action, so they've already clinched the first half with 8 rounds. Honestly, I expected the match to be close, but I wasn't thinking that Final Feature was going to be able to pick up 8 rounds on their CT side against iNTACT here on Overpass. But they've done it, and in fact have been more successful than any other team on Overpass over the last 4 matches against iNTACT, going back to last season. They've matched the total number of rounds iNTACT has lost in total over the last 4 Overpass matches. Base going to get the opening frag on Turismo. And a couple of flashes going to be thrown here by iNTACT. Now Base gets a second. Swan comes out, gets the AK shot on Base, and then gets a second. Swan trying to power his team back into this one. A 3K, maybe 4. No, Picky again with the response at Pillar. Now he gets shut down by Shake, but a 1v1, and Shonk wins it. Is Picky gonna be stopped in this match? Base, of course, the story with the 2K, but Picky with a very critical frag on Swan, who could have tilted the round in his team's favor with a 4K, but not to be. Final Feature pick up a 9th round here. 11 rounds expired. iNTACT down by 7. Final Feature Gaming looking for a statement match perhaps here against iNTACT, and want to show that they're no slouch here in ESEA Advanced. Swan walking in from Z connector, looking at a smoke, and a flashbang going to be thrown here by Final Feature towards mid. Swan and all of iNTACT rolling along, mixed by in terms of pistols. GZ is up and running. Picky still holding the fort here at the A side. Now he's going to get some help from Base, who gets the 3K here on the anti-eco. Shonk going to find the last one on Spongy, and that'll be that. Final Feature, double-digit round victories here, 10-2 in their favor. Optimus in the chat. Hey, Optimus, how's it going? I saw you were playing for Infamous for a little while with in IEM, if I'm not mistaken. That's awesome. I know they didn't keep you there, but still some good experience to gain, and I hope you join a new squad soon, man. You certainly deserve it. And thank you for the compliment as well. Urusai Says JRT cutest caster in NA. Well, thank you, ESEA, for the wonderful compliment. 13th round of play. Swan going to try and fire a shot in through Canal. Misses it. iNTACT on another buy up here. They have the full loss bonus of 3,400, which is powering them through to this buy. 4 AKs in the op. Over on final feature, 4 M4A4s and the AWP. Droid. Waiting at Canal, and you have 3 members of final feature stacked up towards the B site. Perhaps expecting a hit from iNTACT there. But you see the slow rotate happening from iNTACT towards long A. 2 of them headed there. That's Turismo and Willmeister. Will be joined shortly by Shake. Swan will be joining them as well, and they'll have a late arrival from Spongy. Maybe Spongy will be the lurk at short A. Try and catch final feature off guard. Flashbang thrown in there, and Swan gets the opening frag on Jonah P. So the op is down on final feature. 4M4 still standing though, and here comes the rotate from final feature as they're expecting iNTACT to execute here. 3 members coming from long A, 2 from short. Picky going to get the frag there on Shake. Shank finds Turismo, and now Shank looking for more, but here comes Willmeister with Swan, and Swan gets his second on the round. Swan looking for more in a third, could get the 4th one as well, and indeed, Swan with 4 on the round, only 1 left. That is Picky. Can Picky be the hero again? No, Willmeister spots him out with the smoke fade, and Swan finally, after trying round after round after round, 3K, 4K, not sure what it would take, there's the 4K, making it happen. iNTACT get a 3rd round victory, and they're going to try to get a 2nd in a row once more here. 10-3 though for final feature. Willmeister going to throw that flashbang in towards Fountain. Jonah P on the receiving end of it. And he does get a bit of damage taken from the HE, but nothing to sweat about. Down to 97. Shake. Moving in to Monster. 3 members of iNTACT inside of Monster. 1 right outside of it. That is Swan. See the lurk here. Willmeister, who has taken Optimus's role as the lurk. In some cases, anyway. He's going to come in here. Oh, Picky down to 58. iNTACT still 5v5. Taking their time. Swan catches off Jonah P, who tried to be a little sneaky and coming on the flank, but Swan patiently waiting for that to happen. So final feature a little impatient here on the force buy. 2 M4s, a CZ and a UMP still standing. iNTACT trying to get final feature to make those mistakes, and so far it's working. Base. Right around pillar here. He's got Droid to back him up. All of iNTACT now rotating over to the A side. Shank there to greet them. Spongy goes down. Not out yet, but Turismo gets the immediate trade. There it is. 4v3 for iNTACT. They're going to move on into that A site now. No one to contest them. Piggy's trying to rotate around and at least find a frag before the bomb goes down. Nice smoke there. Thrown by iNTACT, and Shake's going to find base as well. Picky and Droid, the last 2 standing. They're going to try for it. They're going out. Picky's pushing through that smoke, looking for one on Willmeister, jumping around, gets it, and looks at Turismo. Tags him for a little bit, but cannot spot him out. Turismo getting Droid. Picky finds a 2nd on Swan. Man, is he hard to take down, but Turismo finally does. iNTACT do indeed win their 2nd round in a row for the first time in the match, 10-4 in favor of final feature, and we are in the 15th and final round of play here in this first half. Check out that scoreboard. Swan 16-11 leads the server in terms of frags with 16. Over on final feature, it's Picky and Shank combining for 30 so far, 15 apiece, and base with 12. On the season, Picky leading the squad, at least in terms of play matches on final feature, with 187 frags. Swan going to get the opening frag on Jonah P. Swan's winning those engagements with Jonah P. That does not bode well for the next half. If it continues this way, at least doesn't bode well for Jonah P in final feature. Droid tries to push through that smoke. It does not work. And iNTACT slowing down the pace of play, and that's paying off for them. Swan through the smoke, catches off Picky. Now we have a 5v2. Shank again going down to Swan. I'm not sure if that was through the smoke, but no, it was not. over at Construction. Spongy finishes him off, and now it's all up to base, coming in a 5v1 on the flank against Turismo. He could try to sneak in here, do something, gets Turismo. Picks up an AK, has to try to do something. It's the last round of the first half. Cannot do it. Swan with the 3K. Another 3K plus round for him. And iNTACT win their 5th round, 10-5. A very manageable scoreline now. Final feature looked like they were running away with it, but iNTACT chipping away, slowly but surely. And only 5 rounds down now. Guys, I am JRT. Hope you're enjoying the match so far. If you are, I would really appreciate a follow at JRTTV with 2 E's at the end on Twitter. That's in the top left-hand corner. And JRTTV without the 2 E's on Twitch. Always appreciate any and all support you guys can give me. What's the biggest difference between pro and MDL? Pro is professional and MDL is semi-pro. It's a skill level, BDJ. I'd say in terms of execution and strategies, probably close from MDL to pro, but the pros are a lot tighter in their execution. So here we go, round number 16 underway. Final feature switching to T side and iNTACT over on CT side. Shake's gonna get the opening frag. Jonah P trades it back immediately. Now Droid walks in, taps ahead of Shake. Turismo, fully blinded, has to back into pit. And Sean's gonna take advantage of that flashbang, finding Willmeister. Jonah P gets Turismo, and then Jonah P finds Spongy. So good first round here by Final Feature, going against the pace of play, taking the momentum out of iNTACT's hands and winning this first one in the second half, 11-5. In their favor. In terms of MDL experience in this match, it's Shonk with 4 MDL seasons. He left FAM 143 when they were 1-8 and joined up with Final Feature, which was a very good decision for a season, as you guys can see. And over on iNTACT, as mentioned, Spongy has 4 MDL seasons with Vision Gaming, but Willmeister has 2 of his own. Willmeister not playing Season 28, but still performing pretty well so far for iNTACT with 40 frags in 2 matches. Shake's going to find base, and now Willmeister going to get Shonk as well. Good response here by iNTACT on the force by MP9 and UMP45 doing the work. MAC-10 picked up off the ground for Turismo, CZ for Spongy, and P250 for Swan. iNTACT really need a quick response here, but unfortunately do not have much of a presence on the A site itself. 2 members pushed up aggressively at short A. They do give away their position by firing a few shots. But Final Feature will indeed take control of this A site. They have a rotate coming in from Spongy and Turismo. Being pinched in, Willmeister's going to spot out Droid. He goes down. Picky and Jonah P, the last 2 standing. They do have the rifles to do the work here, and Picky finds one on Turismo. 2v4, but very winnable for Final Feature. Picky gets his head spotted out here. Does not go down, but there it is. Spongy finds with the CZ. Jonah P gets a 2K, but Willmeister ends that. So close, but no cigar for FFG. iNTACT will indeed respond, winning the second round in this second half, and cut the lead back to 5 rounds. 11-6 in favor of Final Feature now. On the season, base leading the charge in terms of KDR and ADR with 1.21 KDR and an ADR of 85.9. Headshot percentage, though, is Shonk with 25.6% of his frags being headshots. That's 1 in every 4, guys. Not too shabby. Here we go. Round number 18. Swan scoped in here from Fountain as Shake and 2 other iNTACT members ready on the B site for a quick push, but it's actually going to come in from mid. Look at this. Final Feature trying to move him with the pistols and do the damage. Swan catches out Droid, but he could get overwhelmed. Finds a 2K. Willmeister helps him out with the frag on base. Then Swan gets the 4K. I know it's just an anti-eco, but with the op still pulling off 3 against the pushing pistols from Final Feature, that's not bad at all. 11-7 in favor of FFG, but iNTACT are making a push for it, and this could soon be 11-11. Let's just look at that scoreboard again, guys. Yeah. Just look at this for a second. 23-13 for Swan. No one else on iNTACT is above 10 frags. Swan has taken the team on his shoulders and is carrying them through into what could be a tied match. Shake, Zilla, and Spongy get the opening frag. Shonk responds, gets 2 of his own, and now Picky is there at the B side as well. Spongy's going to get a 3rd, but Jonah P does respond, getting 2 more, and FFG It's just a Shonk and Jonah P show until Swan comes in and again doing the damage. No bomb control for final feature. Jonah P down to 4 HP. If Swan knew, I'm sure he'd have his pistol out. Maybe he does know, as he does indeed have that pistol out and ready to go. Jonah P trying to retrieve the bomb. Swan knows he's going to go for this. Doesn't see him come through, though. Sneaky move by Jonah P. And Swan plays it safe. Waiting for Jonah P to show himself. Here's the footsteps. Jonah P could get this bomb planted. He does not. He hears the footsteps of Swan, and Swan clutches it. 2K for him. He's at 25 frags now. Spongy has joined him in double-digit frag territory with 10. But Swan, if iNTACT comes back and wins this match, it's Swan. That's the reason. Final feature. Trying to get a response here on their T side, but so far only one round one, and that was the pistol round. 43 remaining in the round. Is Shonk coming out looking for the Wandeeks. Final feature going to be on a pistol round save. And Shonk gets the Wandeek on Willmeister, looking for more as base, and base finds Swan. iNTACT with the advantage in every way, throwing it away there with an aggressive push up against those pistols. Turismo's going to try and respond here. He finds one, but that's going to be it. Droid finds him. Shake is going to be the last one standing. Droid with 2 coming from the P250. Shake looking to do the damage, knowing that perhaps FFG doesn't have any body armor, but they have those rifles, and now the op, which could easily hold an angle and get the frag on Shake. So Shake is going to save the M4A1S. That is not what iNTACT wanted to see in that pistol round buy for final feature. All started by Shonk getting the Wandeek on Willmeister, who was pushed up aggressively towards party. I'm surprised to see iNTACT being that aggressive, knowing that the economy for final feature could not have been good. Droid on this B site has the M4 in hand, waiting for Shake to perhaps come towards it. He goes down. But final feature are going to win the round here. 12-8 will be the final score. At least iNTACT. Shake Zilla taking the guns out of the hands of final feature. Only Picky left standing with the M4A4. So it evens out the economy a little bit, which will help in the long run. But iNTACT losing that round, a round they probably should have won. Unable to get the frags in the anti-eco. And Hardman in the chat. Shake is livid right now. Look at this goat cleanup. Yeah, Shake just trying to get those frags. But they, in general, iNTACT going to have to wake up here and try to take some of the pressure off of Swan's shoulders, who's been doing the fragging with both the AWP and the rifles. 4-round deficit. Not insurmountable here for iNTACT. But they won't have a buy up here. It's funny, everyone's spamming, not spamming, but Win and Aaron putting the livid logo in the chat. It was actually the first thing I thought about as I said livid, reading out the chat. So there you go. I'm not the only one who had that cross my mind. Final feature trying to charge into this B site with authority, and they're already in. iNTACT getting flashed again and again. Shake does spot out Droid, but can't get the frag on him. Droid getting the opening frag on the B site. Turismo responds, looking for 2, can't get it. Droid with a second. iNTACT forcing up here, trying to make it happen. And Droid doing the damage. Jonah P now catches out Willmeister inside of Monster. And it's Spongy who gets the response on base. But a 2v3. The op picked up by Swan. I don't think he wants to drop this one for final feature. Playing it safe inside of Monster. Gets the frag on Jonah P. And they have to think about it. They could go for it. They don't have the kit. And time is against them. Perhaps just going to be content getting that AWP off the ground. And yeah, that's going to be the case. Swan going to save the AWP. Spongy going to stick to that FAMAS, and the bomb going to explode. Final feature up 13-8. The third seed giving the second seed a run for their money. And if I'm not mistaken, oh, Spongy's going to go down there. Sean going to find him, but if I'm not mistaken, I think final feature could jump to number 2 with a win here. Maybe not. It depends on rounds 1. But I'll double check that. I'm actually going to check that right now and see what it's looking like. Oh, yeah. If final feature wins this match, they're going to jump to number 2. Tied coming into this one with 181 rounds for. AWP saved up by Swan, carried into this round, but the rest of INTACT just on the pistol. Swan's been doing all the damage though, so we'll see if we can get it down here. Gets a 2K as Shank and Jonah P foolishly walk into his crosshair. Spongey's gonna find one with the USPS, and Swan doing the work. Swan with another 4K. Can he be stopped? INTACT, 9-round victories. No answer for Swan on FFG's side over these last probably 12 rounds. They have won 3, but still. Swan, 30 bomb already. And we're not even done with this one. 4 rounds separate. INTACT and final feature. A timeout has been called. That was a full-on eco for INTACT, except for Swan, who had the AWP. Second 4K of the match. Unreal. Swan so far has 3 3Ks, and actually it's 3 4Ks. Unreal. Swan train in the chat. Swan's backpack. Hard carry from Parks. Honestly, of all the INTACT matches I've casted over the last 2 seasons, this is the only one I've seen such a lopsided scoreline in. Swan with 30, and the rest of the squad total in terms of frags, I think, see 23 plus 9, 32. Oh, my math is failing me, but I think it's around something along the lines of 40 frags to the rest of the squad, so almost matching the rest of the squad in terms of frags. Swan over at long A now, and you have to wonder if he's getting into FFG's heads. Shake and spray down in here towards Monster, finds 2, then goes on to Picky, but good job by Shake. Over in Canal, Turismo trying to look for a response, almost spots out Shank. Shank down to 15 HP, and Picky's going to stick this plant. Good smoke storm there by final feature. Bit of a wall set up so that Turismo couldn't see anything from walkway. Turismo and Swan going for the retake now. 4v3, no reason for INTACT not to try for this one. They have the utility to make it work. Turismo with the smoke, could throw it to try and block off the angle from Canal. Swan goes down though to Shank, that is critical. Spongy responds with a frag on Shank, still 2v2. Willmeister finds base on the flank, leaving it all up to Picky. He's hanging out over at Sandbags, could get this one, gives away his position, and Spongy through the smoke gets Picky. Spongy with the 2K, and just enough time to get the defusal in. A very close round, but INTACT do indeed find their 10th. 2 in a row so far for INTACT. Picky cannot pull off the miracle there. And only 3 rounds separate final feature and INTACT. 2 AKs picked up off the ground for INTACT. 2 AWPs now up and running, and an M4A4 round at the buy. 2 CZs, 2 PT50s, and a Deagle over on final feature. Good utility thrown there by INTACT as well, pushing up aggressively towards mid. Now they back off wisely. Swan tries to catch on one, misses the shot, catches the leg, I believe, and Willmeister gets the first frag. Swan finding Picky, looking for more now on Jonah P, and gets it. Swan could drop 40 soon. Turismo spraying down Shank and gets him. Base the last one standing here for final feature. Not for long. Turismo coming in with the 2K. Swan with 2 more to his name. He's at 32. 13 to 11 now. As close as it's been since, I think, round number 3 or round number 4. Match can be paused here, perhaps by final feature to talk things over. Economy is good enough for the AKs to be bought up here. The question is, do they want to wait for more utility or try to go for it right here? Could go for the safe pistol armor buy. Still have 3K. 2.5 to 3K in the bank accounts, and then buy up in the following round enough for ops or the utility that they'll need. But they're going to force it up here. They're going for it with half utility and the 5 AKs. They are going to have 2,900 loss bonus going to the next round, assuming they lose this one, but they want to try for it. Most money left in the bank account for final feature is 150 for both Shank and base. So it will certainly be a save round in the next one, regardless of the loss bonus coming in. 25. This match delivering as promised. Shake and Swan waiting on the B site. Base lurking around. Maybe hoping someone from iNTACT is going to push up here into Monster, but not happening just yet. Oh, Shake. I don't think so. Shake's plays is very safe. I'd be very surprised to see him push up into Monster. Turismo and Spongy waiting on the A site to greet the final feature members, which will be coming out soon, but I think Willmeister's going to have the best angle. Could catch one off guard if final features pushes up past the cafe. And they will not, throwing a flashbang, and then Willmeister going for the wide peak and hits the shot on Picky. So one of the best players in this match for final feature is down. 5v4 for iNTACT with 37 seconds left for final feature to get their execute going. It's going to be on the B site. Jake waiting for them. He finds one. Looking for a second. Jonah P forces him behind the pillar, but Swan there to reinforce. He finds the frag on Jonah. Shank going to go down now as well to Swan, and Swan, why not? Another 3K for Swan. 7th 3K plus round for him on the match. 13-12 in favor of final feature. So iNTACT 1 round away from tying this one up. It was 10-2 at one point, guys. Now iNTACT having 12 rounds, winning 10 of the last 13. Swan waiting at short A, scoped in with the AWP. Final feature is on a save. Look at that nade do the damage. 100 plus damage from that nade into construction. Shake's going to try and clean up here. He gets 2, goes down. Turismo gets 2 more. That leaves only Jonah P in a 1v3, and he's going to go down to Spongy. That will be that. Tied up 13-13. iNTACT. What a comeback. This has now become a best of 4. Only 4 rounds remaining to be played in this match. 35 frags for Swan. If we were at a LAN and iNTACT, of course, wins this one, they would be hugging Swan and just jumping all over him. Spongy gonna find the opening frag over on Droid, trending well for iNTACT here. Base gonna walk into a Molly. He's burning alive down to 20 HP just to try and get an angle, and he just goes down handily to Shake. Shake looking for some more action here. Spots out Picky and ends him. Shank gonna find one on Spongy, but Turismo responds immediately on Shank. Jonah P is now the last bastion of hope again for the 2nd consecutive round, and he will go down to Turismo, who finds 2. 14-13 in favor of iNTACT. It's their first lead of the match, coming in round number 27. This is nutty. 3 rounds remaining. You see the rest of iNTACT waking up. Shake's almost at the 500 mark at 18-19. Turismo 15-19. Spongy 16-18. The lowest is Willmeister 10-18, but still doing the damage with 10 assists. Get that ADR up. Spongy looking for some action here. Does spot out Shank for the first frag, but goes down to Droid. Final feature. Now in a 4v4. Willmeister. Be a devastating round for final feature if they don't win it. Good boost over the smoke. Try to catch out Swan, but cannot. Willmeister gonna think about creeping through the smoke. Nade comes through, and now he's through. There it is. Nice job. Good flashbang thrown as well. Swan finds Jonah P, and now it's a 4v2. What a nice little execute there. Willmeister with the 2K. Gotta be thankful for that flashbang that was thrown. Base, the last one standing in a 4v1. iNTACT throwing that Molly for Z connector. I'm not sure if they knew Willmeister was there. He took a bit of damage from it. Base walks out. Willmeister finds him. He gets the 3K. iNTACT 15. Final feature 13. Over on final feature, Jonah P at 22, Shank at 23 frags, but everyone else below the 500 mark. Picky, was doing some really good work early on in the match, but has slipped a little bit since then, now down to 18 and 20. iNTACT with 2 match points here in final feature on the force by 3 Galils and 2 CZs to try and make this one happen. So certainly will be a lot of frustration on Final Feature side, but regardless, I mean, both teams playing their hearts out here and showing that if we do see a playoff matchup between these two, it's going to be a nail-biter. The memes coming out in the chat. Someone check Swan for word.exe. I don't think so. Swan gonna find two more. Jonah P and Droid go down. He's looking for another 3K round and could find it if Picky peeks out here. Shonk does find Willmeister, but goes down, and Base finds Swan. Base and Picky in a 2v3. They have control of the A site, and Picky gets Turismo. This one's not over yet, folks. Shake and Spongy in a 2v2 now. Spongy and Shake are separated from each other, so if either goes down, it will be a one and done. They could pinch in here and work together to find these frags. Spongy hears the bomb go down. I'm sure he's going to call that out to Shake, who's now at long A. Spongy taking his time, waiting for Shake to get into position at long A and looking at Truck. Molly thrown, and Spongy gets tagged by it, and Base knows where he is because of it. Base finds him 2v1. Shake's position likely known as Base staring right out the long A, and Base gets the 3K final feature. Come back, get a 14th round victory, 15-14. We are one round away from OT, and it would certainly be a well-deserved OT on both sides. Match paused. It's really going to come down to this. iNTACT, double off setup, Spongy and Swan. iNTACT, Shakezilla, Turismo, and Willmeister round out the bye with 3 M4A4s. Look at this. 38 and 16 for Swan. Wasn't enough in the previous round, but still. I think he's been implicated in every single round that has been played here. More than a frag per round for him. Over on Final Feature, it's been Shonk and Jonah P stepping up. And Shonk going to get this AK very shortly as the match still being paused. For them to talk things over. Like I was saying, Swan woke up in the last two matches, but this one is just wow. One of the most dominant performances I've seen from Swan over the last two seasons. DCOS saying Swan's back has to be hurting. Poor dude. Indeed. Shrek, that sounds kind of scary. Fake news in the chat. The big pause coming in, says Anthem Halo. And it's over. 30th and potentially final round of play. iNTACT. Looking to end it right here. Final Feature want to push it into OT and give themselves a second chance at life. 140 remaining on the clock. 3 AKs, a Galil, and an AWP bot up for Final Feature. Let's not forget that Final Feature did that with 3 Galils and 2 CZs in the previous round. Flashbang being thrown into Monster now by Final Feature. Base. Gonna look for some action. Again, lurking around Monster. Seen this before from Final Feature on their T side. iNTACT playing 3 members on the B side. Actually 2, with Shakezilla being the one who can rotate from either A to B. Or B to A. Swan in bathrooms, stacked up with Willmeister, trying to ensure that they get the trade if anyone pushes in here. 3 members of Final Feature are making their way down long A, and the bomb will follow up shortly in the hands of Shonk. The lurk, which was Base over at B, still heading that way. Let's see if they wait for Base to try and do some damage on the B side, or if they go for it into the A side without anything happening. Base working his magic. Jonah P finds the opening frag over on Shakezilla. Great start for Final Feature. And Base perhaps waiting for someone to rotate around towards B. Turismo's waiting patiently here. Swan gets the frag on Picky. 4v4. Turismo cannot spot out Base. Base gets him, but Swan with 2 on the round. He finally goes down, but Willmeister gets Shonk. Now Spongy in a 2v2. Willmeister by his side. Jonah P and Base pushing up aggressively to try and get this done. Time's ticking away. Spongy with the no-scope, and Willmeister finds Jonah P trying to plant the bomb at the very last second. iNTACT. Make it exciting to finish things off. 16-14 over Final Feature. That one could have gone either way. My goodness gracious. Final Feature and iNTACT. Who would have thunk it?